Good day, peers. My name is Oluwaseyi Grace Fadoju. I am currently an intern at the Virtual Testing Foundation, interning as an information security administrator. And briefly, I will be talking about team conflict management. What is team conflict and how do you manage team conflict management? Conflicts are natural, conflicts are unavoidable, it has to happen. But the most important thing to consider when conflict happens is how to manage. So, how do conflict happen? Conflict happen when there are differences in understanding, differences in the styles, differences in personalities, and these differences result in fights. Then conflict will actually result. Conflict happens when your perception about something as a team member is different from the perception of other team members. Then if you're not necessarily easy with managing it, it can actually burst into something more than just talk, which can actually be quarrel. What is team conflict? Team conflict happens when there is disagreement over goals, methods, or needs of a team. When team members doesn't agree easily on their goals or method on how they want to do things. When some part of the group members believe okay or have the perception that oh this is how we are going to do, while others have when they are when things are not going in line on just one direction, then conflict actually happens in the team that way. And conflict occurs in reason of different personalities. Have a personality, my personality, she don't talk this, and that person is okay, she can talk like that. So having these different personalities could actually cause conflict, which might not be good for the for the work of a team. So conflict management is it happens, it's unavoidable, but how to actually resolve it is the most important thing, because if conflict does not happen and the conflict is not really easily managed, then the productivity of a team, the production of a group will actually going to be at stake. Conflict management. Why is conflict management important? Conflict management is important because conflict happens. So having the necessary idea of how to resolve it is actually help a team to increase on their success rate. It is necessary the team members know that okay, even though if we fight we need to understand how to settle it, because resolving conflicts will help them, allows teams to trust each other and work better together to achieve their goals. It helps them to understand each other more and better, and it creates a smoother environment for them to work in the nearest future. What are the types of conflicts? The first one here is task-based conflict. Task-based conflict happens when each different people rely on different parts of projects. When we have delegations for just one project, when you have like few people, okay, you have to do this, you have to you have to do that. So when one person or two person or more than two person actually are not doing their work, then it can actually lead to delegation, because the success rate of the work depends on how people actually work on this thing. So see, task-based conflict happens when some part of people that are delegated to do their part on a project are not working. This could actually cause team members to fight and to disagree, and which is not a good thing for a team. So how do you manage this type of conflict? You make sure everyone on the team knows what they should be doing. You make sure that okay, there should be deadline. Okay, if you do this, oh Mr. Hey, you're doing this and this is deadline, Mr. B, and give them okay, if you don't do this in regards of your deadline, these are going to be the penalty. Leadership conflict happens when there are differences in leadership style. As a leader, you believe that okay, I can talk to my team members anyhow because I am a leader, and your team members are like, no, why will you talk to her? We are human beings. This kind of things could actually cause conflict in a team member. So trying to put yourself into consideration in this kind of matter will actually help to manage that kind of conflicts. Well, or when people believe that okay, when I'm in their shoes, how did they react? Then when you leading, you lead very well. Leading styles can be very different. Leading styles can be very different. You might actually know how to accommodate things while the other person do not. So as a leader, I repeat, as a leader, it is necessary that you make adjustments to your leadership style in order to accommodate the team different needs. You might even actually be more calmer than your team leaders and your team members rather, because the things they will do to you as a team leader, you'll be like, okay, let me just ignore it for the success of this team. Another conflict, another types of conflict we have here is the work style conflict. Work style conflict occurs because team members have different preferences on how to accomplish their task. Some work quickly, move on the next task as soon as possible, while others prefer to complete tasks. So this kind of conflict in a team is actually based on the fact of we have different perspective, we have different ways of doing their work. A Mr. A can actually do this work in a day and moves on to the next one the day too. While Mr. B can actually be on this work for like a week before going further. So if one person is actually slowing the other person down, then they are actually lead to conflict because you have already delegated, okay, you have already planned that okay, this project we're going to work on it for 2 months, and somebody is just taking like 3 weeks to just do like 10% out of the work. Then you can imagine when you're going to be successful at your project. So having this kind of style in a team could actually lead to conflict. How can you manage this one? Just make sure that you understand working style of everybody and you find the best way to collaborate to achieve the same goal despite different. For someone that likes to work slow, you will not leave the person alone. You have to join that person with someone too that can work fast so that that person can actually ginger the other person to do better than he always have to do. All right. So what is the last type of team conflict here is the personality clashes. Yeah, personalities are always different. We cannot have the same personality, and these will actually cause conflict if we are not careful on how to manage. So we have different moral understanding, we have different way of doing things, and there's no way this will come into work we do. So personality are some kinds of the most common type of conflict here because peoples are different, like I said. So having way to manage this in a team will actually help to determine the success of the teamwork. So solution management, try to understand their differences and learn how to work together peacefully and productive. Try to understand, okay, this is how this person actually do this is how the person is how. Let me just, when you understand people, there will be less issue with people. There will be less issue with people when you understand people. All right, so those are the four types of conflicts in a team. Now we're going to talk briefly how to manage team conflict. All right. Sorry. Stay calm. The number one thing is when conflict arise, you stay calm. When a conflict arises, it is important to stay calm and professional. Yeah, you might be forced to react. Don't react. It might cost you a lot. You stay calm. You communicate and you listen. Yeah, when somebody is angry about something, you listen. Let the person express his or her mind. Don't talk at the same time. Don't argue. Don't give reasons why the other person want to retaliate in a bad way. Just calm, communicate. Okay, all right, I've heard you, this is it. Okay, this kind of management will actually help you to resolve things more easily than maybe shouting and fighting. You acknowledge the conflict and find a resolution. Part of conclusion is trying to acknowledge your own fault. Don't be all right, don't be like, no, this is not it. No, when somebody picks something, this is what you've done. All right, I'm sorry, and you find the best way to do your solutions. You find the best way to address this thing. You find the best way to do things in a way that okay, oh, nobody will feel like okay, you've actually done things in your way. Understanding. Thank you for listening. Thank you for gaining something in today's episode of how to manage team conflicts. God bless you.